Nursing Shortage Solutions by Lydia Brock, Johnston Community College. Overview. Currently, the United States is going through a nursing shortage. There are three different causes for this. One is the school's impact. Currently, schools are not putting out enough students to take up positions in hospitals or in home facilities. Two is the baby boomer retirement. If you look at my quote, it says approximately 1 million registered nurses are older than 50, meaning that almost 1/3 of the estimated 2.7 million people who make up the nursing workforce will reach retirement age in the next 10 to 15 years. This also corresponds with the school's impact as well, because schools are not making enough students to take over for the retiring nurses. There's also supply and demand. The demand for nurses is a lot higher than what is being put out by schools. The supply that is you can see on the graph is a lot lower than the demand that is actually being needed. 2019 is not the only time that there has been a nursing shortage. Between 1930 and 1960, during World War II, there was a huge nursing shortage, but they coped and made solutions. The three different solutions that were came up with was to increase the amount of students that attended schools, which actually opened up the amount of students that were allowed to be accepted and put into classes, which gave a lot of women the possibility to actually have jobs. The second one was to use the less educated but already trained personnel to hold spots in the hospital while more students were being educated. This actually worked very well because, yes, they didn't have as much education, but they were already trained. So the ones who were trained were able to train the students as they came in with their education. The third solution was to shorten the educational period. Now, some would suggest that shortening the educational period would actually be worse off, but it worked really well in the 1930s through the 1960s because it was able to produce more students in order to put them in places where they were needed. Now, currently, with the shortage that is going on in 2019, there isn't really a big solution. The only solution they have now is to put add-on bonuses for any nurses who plan to sign up with the hospital. The solution. A big solution that I am suggesting is to borrow nurses from other places with a surplus. If you look on the graph that I have on the right, you'll see that there are some places with blue and some places with red. The places in blue are actually the places of surplus with nurses. They have too many nurses and so they don't know what to do with them. So if we were actually to borrow those nurses from places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and bring them to the less supplied areas like North Carolina, South Carolina, and Hawaii, we'd be able to use those nurses and split them into two different groups. One group would be teachers that would be put into classrooms and used to teach the students and in order to help try to get more nursing students out and into the work field. And the second group would be temporary nurses who could be signed on through hospitals and used as placeholders until enough students are being put out by schools. Feasibility. Now, some may ask, is it even possible to actually fix the shortage that we are currently going through? And there definitely is the possibility to do so. And it would take a lot of work and it definitely wouldn't be easy, but it's definitely possible. One thing that we'll have to definitely do is open up more class spaces so that more classes can be open and therefore more teachers can be put into them. Now, money will definitely be a factor because we will have to pay the teachers, but it's something that will have to be done. The second thing is the hospitals already have the room for these nurses and they already have the money that they're willing to put towards the nurses. So the hospitals wouldn't be a really big problem. Um, just the whole classroom and finding the money for teachers would definitely be the hardest part. So helping the community. We really need to reach out to these places with surpluses in different hospitals and really talk to these other nurses and see if they're willing to help us. See, our nurses are always there for us, like when we're in accidents or there's a problem with a family member, so we need to really be there for them. Our nurses are currently dealing with a lot of stress, lack of sleep, and no personal time. They have no time to just relax and think about the day and just really de stress, which can be really difficult for us and our family members because if a nurse is going on to a 34-hour shift with no rest, it can be really hazardous. There could be more complications and a lot more risk involved without any rest from the nurses. We need to do whatever we can to make it easier on our nurses for them to do their positions so that it's better for us individuals and for our family members. It'll help with care as well if we add on nurses because they'll be able to do what they can to de-stress and they won't have to worry as much.